So don't buy a condo in Ontario without doing this one thing first. Hi there, it's Mark deGroot here with Royal LePage Burloak. So in my last video, I talked a little bit about the different types of ownership for residential property in Ontario, specifically the top three, which being freehold and condo and co-op. So today I want to dive a little bit more about condo ownership and specifically talk about the most important document that you must review and you and your lawyer must review before purchasing a condo, and that is the status certificate. Okay, so what is the status certificate? It's actually not a certificate, it's more of a package. It's provided by the condo corp by law to show you and your lawyer all the details about that condo that you need to know before purchasing. So one of the documents is going to be the rules and regulations. Every condo corp has rules and regulations that the residents must follow. So specifically, what is the pet policy? Are you allowed to have pets? What is the weight restrictions of the pets? What kind of pets can you have? So on and so forth. What are the parking rules? Where are you allowed to park? What hours are you allowed to park in certain spots? And so on and so forth. Garbage rules, even so much as painting doors and windows and what window coverings you can have. The condo corp can decide all those things by the rules. So you definitely want to examine all these rules and make sure that you're okay with them, because that can certainly affect the quality of life if you're not in agreement with some of these rules. Next would be the budget. So being a condo corporation, it has a budget. It has income paid for by the maintenance fees from all the residents and owners, and it has expenses. So expenses such as snow plowing and cutting grass and lights in common areas and repairs and so on and so forth. So the budget's going to show where the money's being spent, how much is coming in overall, and how much is going out. And also it's going to talk about the reserve fund. The reserve fund is a very important number. The reserve fund is how much money that condo corp has in the war chest specifically to pay for large expenses. So every 20, 30 years, shingles have to be replaced on houses. The roads have to be repaired. In the case of a condo apartment, elevators need repairs, so on and so forth. That needs to be paid for out of the reserve fund. So if the reserve fund's not adequate to cover these expenses, you're going to have a special assessment levied on the owner. So that's one thing you want to check for, make sure that there's no special assessments. Or if there is a special assessment, you know what it's about and you're okay with that. So for example, I had a client who had a special assessment on the condo he was looking to purchase, and it was a nominal amount, about $200, but that was to cover the cost of removing all the ash trees because the emerald ash borer had damaged all the trees. So they brought an arborist. They didn't want to pay for it out of the reserve fund, so they just levied a special assessment on all the owners of $200 each. Everybody was in agreement with that. They were happy to pay it, and everyone was okay with that. But it was good we knew about that, because that's an extra $200 in that case that my client didn't want to have to pay or needed to know about. So we want to see that there's no special assessments coming, or if there is, are they reasonable or do they raise red flags? So the next thing we want to look at is there any litigation coming against the condo corp? So are they being sued for anything? Slip and fall, for example, any liability? Want to know if that's the case. And finally, the status certificate will also reveal, are there any liens against the property? So are there any unpaid work from contractors or so on and so forth? So overall, the status certificate is going to paint a pretty good picture of the health of the condo corp, the units, how it's being run. And this is important information because you're buying into a shared ownership situation with the other unit holders of this condo corp. And you want to make sure that it's all running well and smooth to your happiness, because if it's not, that can equate to a bunch of nightmares and difficulties for you. So anyway, hope this is helpful. Again, just a little bit of advice on condo ownership and reviewing status certificate. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me at the links below. I'm always happy to answer any questions. And until next time, thanks for watching.